Well, hello. How are you going? Thanks for joining me. My name's Campbell. This is Autodidactic 2, and we're about to take another walk through the strange realm we find ourselves in.
Now, they're not even trying to conceal it anymore. The owners of the country they bought got their election. They said, we're going to get this election. We put you people in that court for a reason.
Right,
Now's
back
the time
to
pay
earth
us.
for you now.
Yeah, forget all that stupid. Will you? They're out in the open. They're openly driving the bus, and we're all in the back.
There is no national conspiracy to buy elections and control America. Now
Talk about back to earth.
You don't need a formal conspiracy.
Right.
When interests converge, these people went to the same universities and fraternities. They're on the same boards of directors. They're in the same country clubs. They have like interests. They don't need to call a meeting. They know what's good for them, and they're getting it. And there used to be 7 oil companies. There are now 3. It will soon be 2. The things that matter in this country have been reduced in choice. There are 2 political parties. There are a handful of insurance companies. There are about 6 or 7 information things. But if you want a bagel, there are 23 flavors because you have the illusion. You have the illusion of choice. Right. You don't get the real important choice. There's no freedom of choice.
The illusion of choice. George Carlin, what a legend. And that video is probably 15 to 20 years old. And he was talking about it then, like George was talking about this stuff for a long time. And, we've had all these people warn us and all these books and movies, and look where we are. Crazy, right? Crazy, strange realm. But yeah, I think it's time that, the time is here for us to stand up and say no, to actually stand in our power, to understand that these people are all the same. They are all of the same groups. We know this. They have the Bilderberg meetings. They have like Bohemian Grove. They have the World Economic Forum. They have the WHO. They have all these organizations where they're friends and they go and meet and they chat all weekend. And then after that, they're enemies again who want to start wars. It's all just a big show. And we got to change the channel. Stop listening to what they're putting out.
I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, but fuck it, I don't care. This is how you can manifest 50 times faster than your favorite guru. Just to make it simple, reality is nothing but frequency in solid form, same like ice and water. So for you to get your desired reality, all you need to do is just to get to your desired frequency. And today I'm gonna teach you how to get to your desired frequency 50 times faster than all these weird people on the internet. And you can do it in 4 steps. The first one, it might sound simple, but start speaking or talking to your water. Water is the most programmable element in the universe, and 75% of your body is made out of it. So program the water that you drink, reprogram the water in your body. It will literally reprogram you. Second, coordination principle. Most people confuse this one with toxic positivity, but I would never preach something like that. Coordination principle is you look at everything that happens in your life and see if it's pushing you to go forward or backward, towards evolution or regression, and then view both of them as an advantage in the long run. Third one, thought forms like black magic. This is literally how black magic is done. All they do with black magic is they write down stuff, numbers or words. You can start with the easy one. Just start writing down your thought forms. And if you don't know what thought forms are, they are emotionally charged sentences that are associated with continuous actions or life events. Example, every time I breathe, I absorb brilliant ideas from the universe. It's an easy and simple one. And the last one, visualization and journaling done right. There's a difference between visualization for fantasizing, journaling for self-analysis and all the psychology boys. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about visualization and journaling for the purpose of reality creation. What you need to do is to visualize the world after your goal has been achieved. Same with journaling. Stop writing about your boring day. Start writing about your days as if you have already achieved the version of you that you want to achieve. Start writing about meeting people. Even though you haven't met anyone today, just write about it because you are writing as the future version of you, not the current version of you that you hate and want to change. This was yours truly, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, I hope you don't hate yourself, but we all have changes we want to make. Um, I thought that was interesting, especially the water. Talk to your water, and we know Dr. Emoto's work. Water is definitely programmable with intention. It's definitely been proven, and like you said, we are. Well, they tell us 70% water or more. So talk to your water, program it, and then drink it. I like that one. But pretty much everything he said, I would agree with. Start to, live in the world that you want to create. Start talking about that it's already there now, right? Start talking as if you've already achieved it. Write it down, see it in your mind, program your water, all these things. Yeah, I liked it all. And definitely, I need to get into that more myself. I definitely need to start journaling and, yeah, talking to my water. But please let me know your thoughts. Have you tried any of these techniques and how did they go?
Once you start understanding quantum physics, you realize that everything is energy and nothing is separate. And then when you realize that they can measure your brain waves with a magnet that doesn't touch your head, you realize that your thoughts are not in your head. And they're part of this greater field that we are all connected by. And they're now trying to understand how we actually store memories, which is a developing process. Some of it is protein-based, and some of it is this theory that we basically store our thoughts in the cloud. So basically you're accessing your own Wi-Fi field. And this is why there is a difference of like meeting somebody in person versus doing something over Zoom. Our biofields are interacting right now. There are low-level frequencies that our brains interact on. So having that biofield, you realize that like you have your own biofield, you are your own Wi-Fi, you emit your own Wi-Fi. And so then thoughts can be the process of some of that Wi-Fi coming in, mostly directed as life force and energy, which is why like how you practice your energy and how you maintain your energy can really direct how your thoughts come out in your reality.
Yeah, well, I agree. I think our brains are receivers like a radio, right? Just got to tune into the right station. Because the brain, what is the brain? It's this physical, machine thing that's got all these different components to it. So the brain's just not the brain. It's actually four different parts at least. But yeah, I think it's a receiver, and I believe everything is energy. And I've been talking about it for a while here to get back into the 3D world. We're spending too much time on the 2D world, and it's making people feel separate and alone and apart. And it's this whole division thing. But what she said is true. It's our biofields, our auras that need to interact with other auras, right? Other earth energies so that we can connect and really get on other people's level. And this is why conversations are so good, right? Because you get other people's input. Everyone's a piece of the puzzle, right? You can converse, you can throw ideas around. And you get other points of view, right? It's different to doing it by yourself. So definitely we need to get back in the 3D world, and everything is energy. And if we carry that in our energy field, our future, then that's what we create because our energy field walks ahead of us, right? So when you come into contact with someone, they come into contact with your energy field, right? Not, we don't walk up and start touching each other. It's the energy field that comes into contact. And so if you spend your time, like the first video said, programming your water, or not, the second video, writing down your future, like really starting to live it, that becomes your energy field. And then you become the kind of person that when you walk into a room, everyone looks at you and they're all inspired when they get around you because you're putting all this future energy, right? What you want to be out in front of you. I'm not sure if I explained that very well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. And guys, thanks for spending some time with me. Please do give me a like. If you're not subscribed already and you like this content, hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you can be notified. And yes, I can see there's something popping up behind my head. This is a green screen behind me at the moment. New office coming next year, right? And yes, leave me your comments. What do you think about these videos? I'd love to know your thoughts.
That's why they removed all of the old world buildings, because they would heal people. Because the geometrical shapes and patterns that made up these buildings had high frequencies, unlike the buildings today, which are just square and rectangular, which do not hold a frequency. And if you look at the old world buildings, they all have antennas on. These were loaded with brass balls comprised of mercury at the tops of buildings because they were where the frequency and atmospherical energy, or the ether, was gathered, and they would then connect that to a copper wire which would flow down the building where people would then gather in the 1800s. So then that energy would have been transferred into that room full of people, which would have then instantaneously healed them through the frequency. And it's interesting because all of the old world buildings don't have flat ceilings, because a square is the simplest shape and has the lowest frequency. That's exactly why there was no square buildings back then, because they knew the more complex the geometrical architecture, the higher the frequency. So whenever people walked into that building, their frequency would instantaneously boost. And we know the lower the frequency somebody is, the weaker they are. And again, just like linen sheets, copper bottles and copper bracelets, this was Tartarian technology. They knew the power of frequency. But then the pharmaceutical industry was born. And if everyone's high frequency, nobody's weak. Therefore, they will have no profit. And so they then pulled all of the linen sheets, the copper, and all of the Tartarian buildings down. So old world buildings that have geometrical patterns and sequences are very healing to the body.
Yes, the old world buildings, the healing buildings. Of course, I've spoken a lot about this, but it's true. Sacred geometry. This is what they were all based around, all the sacred geometrical shapes. And today, yes, we have square buildings made of, concrete and cheap metal, right? It's not the metal of the old world. And that architecture is called brutalism because it's brutal to our mind, right? There's no energy flow. Energy flows in circles and spirals, right? And toruses, but not in right angles, basically. And the ceilings, yeah, the ceilings we have in cathedrals are called vaulted ceilings, right? Is that because there's some kind of voltage going through there, frequency? But it's true, and the Rockefellers and the big pharma, right? They're basically the medicine they're giving us today. It's all derived from the petrochemical, the oil industry, which of course that's where Rockefeller made his money, right? So he wanted something to do with the waste and profit. It's an interesting word, isn't it? Profit, right? A prophet. So he became the prophet of medicine. He professed to know a better way, right? And here we are, 100 years later, and everyone's sicker than ever. But they do that to make profit, right? Profits in the Bible, profits in the bank. So more spell magic there. It's everywhere. But yeah, the old world, what do you think about it? Have you looked into Tartaria? What do you think all these buildings were for? Do you think that they were for free energy, high frequency, and healing? Because I do.
As I started to go back into the 1800s, I noticed that fireplaces would have the word radium engraved on them. And so I then realized that these fireplaces weren't using fire and wood, they were using radium to heat people's homes. And there was actually a picture of Thomas Edison sat in front of a radium fireplace, sat there with his feet in front of radium. And so I then questioned, if radium is as toxic as we are told, why would somebody have it in their home and of all places their fireplace? And it's because in the 1800s they found out radium could heat your home for up to 1,000 years. But I then noticed they would drink from radium glassware because they found out that radium would supercharge their cells like no other and enhance their frequency. And what's interesting is everybody in the 1800s, especially the wealthy, would bathe in radium springs. Specifically, the Rockefellers and Rothschilds were known to go to radium springs and bathe there. And so I then questioned, if radium is so toxic, why would you bathe in radium? And so it then all started to add up why they removed the radium fireplaces and all of the radium glassware. And what was once everywhere throughout the 1800s suddenly disappeared because they found something out about radium they don't want you to know about.
Ah, yes, radium. It radiates, right? And then, of course, they give us this word radiation, and they connect all this stuff, at least, subconsciously to bombs and all this kind of stuff to big, electrical generators melting down and causing nuclear winters and all this stuff, which, there was a massive fear campaign about this in the 80s. None of it's ever happened. I've mentioned it before. Chernobyl's now basically a wildlife sanctuary. It's doing better than ever. It was supposed to be wasteland for tens of thousands of years. Fukushima was supposed to kill all the oceans, and none of this stuff has ever happened. I don't believe in nuclear, anything really, splitting the nucleus of an atom. It used to be atomic, right? They just split the atom, then, oh no, let's go one down, nuclear. But there's actually no proof for it if you look into it. But radium, it's the same as everything, right? They did the big flag that's not real. Don't even know if you can say that word here, right? With the radium girls, if you look into that. So it was everywhere. He said discovered in the 1800s. I think it was much, much older. This is definitely, old world Tartarian tech. And one little piece of radium, small bits, do last for a very, very long time. And the thing about fireplaces is you look at all the old fireplaces and the old pictures, there's no soot on them coming out, and they always have these massive ornate, fireplaces and artwork above them. And you wouldn't do that if there was soot coming out of the fire. And there's never any, soot, dark marks on the artwork or anything. So I agree, they were not burning wood in these fireplaces. It's not what they were created for. Something completely different. Heating, yes, definitely could be it. And radium, I think, yeah, it was part of it. If you look at the old photos as well, there's always two like little, I don't know, statue ornamental things, a bit like the two pillars, right? One on each side of the fireplace. So I think that was part of what was going on as well. I'm not sure exactly how they work, and how they tie into the whole system, but basically all the buildings, all the houses, they were all integrated systems. That was all free energy, you didn't have to pay for it, and it all worked really well. But this is the thing, it was good for us, it was free, and so the elites had to get rid of it. So I think it's time to bring that stuff back.
The universe doesn't respond to good or bad. It responds to energy, patterns, and nervous system states. Good and bad are only perceptions of your mind, and the universe operates on laws, not morals. Just like gravity doesn't care if you push a baby or a criminal off a building, they both face the same fate. The laws of the universe respond to frequency, not fairness, and good people often carry stress and responsibility, which shapes their energy. And if you believe you must be strong and self-sacrificing, your subconscious mind attracts similar situations to keep you in those roles. And the stress nervous system stays in environments that feel familiar, even when they are unhealthy. And life mirrors the pain you suppress, not the goodness that you offer.
Interesting. It's becoming a bit of a theme for this show, isn't it? Everything is energy. It's our intention. And like you said, that we all know people, right, who are very good, very giving people, but they have all this, trauma suppressed in them that they suppress and, probably think about a lot, right? And so they're creating this energy field, which then goes out and finds like energy, So if the underlying thought is, why is life so hard? Then your energy field will just go looking for situations that make your life hard because that's what you're asking for energetically. So this is, like that second clip again, this is why we need to change our energy fields, our intentions. It's not what we hope for, it's not what we wish for, it's what we are that we get. So we need to change ourselves first, right? There was a book by Dr. Wayne Dwyer back in the 90s. You'll see it when you believe it. That's the true statement. Most people say, I'll believe it when I see it, but that doesn't work, right? Because you need to be that energy, you need to be the outcome before it comes out, right? Before you get to live it, you need to be it. And this is, be the change you want to see. So let me know in the comments, how are you going with this? I know it's something that we all work on, this whole manifestation, trying to change our reality, trying to raise our vibrations. But, it really is simple, not easy, but it's simple. We've just got to change what we expect to happen.
Stop paying income tax. Income tax is a voluntary compliance. Let me sort it out. On your tax form, or when you see your tax agent, there's a section on the form that says, are you going to put a return in next year? Everybody ticks yes. When you tick yes, you fall under contractual law, which means you need to do your tax return. If you tick no, you are free from the system. Now, let me break it down even further. You cannot be forced to file a tax return because you are not obliged. It's in the Australian law. You are not obliged for income tax. They hit you with all these other taxes. So income tax, start saying goodbye. What you need to do is talk to your employer, say, I'm going to quit. Then can you rehire me as a subcontractor? Being a subcontractor means it's your obligation whether or not to pay tax. Wouldn't it be cool if all the money you got for your wages stayed with you? None for tax. All you have to do is tick the box. No, you're not going to do your tax file return next year. And then you're free. Do your research. There's an invention called Google. Check it out. Income tax is voluntary. Do it next year in the end of June, July, when you see your tax agent or you fill your tax form out yourself. Tick no. I will not be filing a form next year. That will set you free. Do your research.
Yes, definitely do your research. That there's easier ways to do it than what he was talking about. I mean, he's right that you don't have to pay tax. It's voluntary. And I actually have some of the forms here. So these are all from the internet, okay? So this is the first one, which is basically, you get it from the ATO, right? Non-lodgement advice. Okay, this is 2014 is the last time they, on their website, but you just change the dates. And down the bottom there, you will see that it says reason for not lodging a tax return. And you basically, like you can see, I've just written, I'm no longer volunteering. That's it. And you send it in. It's there. And you can get it off the internet. This is just called non-lodgement advice form from the ATO. Look into how to fill it out though. Do not put your tax file number in there because that's going to be joindering with them again. You can actually, so you just leave that out, put your name, address, all that kind of stuff. Sign it. When you sign it, say that by. So you're signing it by and you put your name, first name, full colon, two dots, surname, full colon. So that says who's signing it. Then you sign it and then put VC, which is Vicoactus, which is basically they can't use any of this stuff against you. And that way you're not signing as the straw man, you're signing on behalf. So there's a few things that you do need to get on top of, do a bit of research. I'll put a link below where it explains all this, but basically that's the main thing. Just sign it by your first name dot dot, surname dot dot, and then VC after the signature. So you're not signing as the straw man. Don't put your tax file number in there. And that's it. You just tick down the bottom, reason for not lodging a tax return. And you just say that you don't want to. And you can also ask for the last 3 years of tax returns back. So there you go. And as far as quitting your job and asking to become a subcontractor, well, that's basically is going to cost your job a bit more money, right? Because they've got to pay you more. And they don't, have to pay you, super and things like this. But I've got a few here. Oh, there's a few different, another sheet, form you might want to download from the ATO is called Income Tax Status Review Worksheet for Self-Assessing Not-for-Profit Organizations. And that's, again, you just fill it out. It's very simple. It's 3 sheets, but, oh, there they are. But, there's not much on them. And then the last one is called, it's called Statement by a Supplier. Okay, again, this is just from the ATO's website. All of this stuff is within their legal system. Okay, and this is what you can use to hand into any club that you're a member of. And you fill it out, and basically they don't charge you tax when you go shopping at these different, when you go and, join a gym, right? That's a club. When you join Costco, that's a club. You can then hand in these forms, and that when you shop there, they will not charge you tax. So you're literally getting everything tax free. So there you go. There's a few forms. I'll try and get more information across, but it really you've got to do your research. It's best to find someone who's done all this and can sort of walk you through it. But I will leave the link to a website below, which it's got all the information you need, but it just might take a while to get through it. Right? There's a lot in there. So I hope that helps. But yes, tax is voluntary. Don't pay it, man. Starve the system. Starve the beast.
Oh, so you're telling me that this whole time that the body could regrow teeth with just sounds? Oh, wow. Y'all have done it now. Now they are saying scientists know how to do this now. But what if they're just using ancient knowledge? You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. What if they already been practicing this and it's just now coming to the light for us to see? Got your asses. Got your asses, bro. See, the more you know about the human body, the healthier you become.
Frequency again. Yeah, and there's a lot of information on this. I haven't gone deeply into it. Did a good interview though with Cameron on my first channel, Autodidactic. If you want to check that out, I'll put the link below. And yeah, Royal Raymond Rife, I guess, is the most famous name of frequency healing. And frequency generators are becoming more popular now. You can get them, they're not too expensive anymore, and you can heal different ailments. The thing that you do need to know is which frequency, right? So that you will be able to find lists of Rife frequencies online. I've actually got a very detailed list, which I was lucky to, come across, be handed to me. But it's not something I can actually put out online because well, let's just say it was the information was gotten, all legally and everything, but certain people don't want it out there. So it's just a protection thing really, which is crazy, right? But of course, this just proves that Big Pharma don't want competition, right? They want us to also stay sick and to stay lifelong customers. But frequency generators, have you used one? Let me know. And do you have any ongoing ailments that you need to sort out? Because it's worth having a look into Royal Raymond Rife and his work, and then just frequency healing, and you'll find a lot of stuff out there. But this is the tech of the new world, right? This is what we need to start using, getting rid of the old systems that are clearly not good for us and starting to use and implement all these earth energy based systems, right? The frequency that we already are. We all just need a bit of a tune up.
Hey man, wake up. This place is being ran by some really evil people. I mean, really evil people. 500,000 children go missing every single year in the United States. Not many people bat an eye to that. They poison our food, they poison our water, they poison our skies so we can't even breathe clean oxygen. They dim the sky and hide the sun from us, the best form of free medicine. They've put rubber soles underneath our feet so we can't ground or be in touch with the universe anymore. They've poisoned the cartoons, the books, and they've rewritten history. It's 2025. We have a new year upon us in a few more weeks. It's time we become self-reliant again. We learn how to grow food and have backyard gardens. The rule of threes dictates that we can go 3, minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. It's time that we get back to our roots. We take off our shoes, hug a tree, get grounded, and start growing our gardens. Start building up our caches of food. We become self-reliant. Open doors for people, make eye contact. Howdy, neighbor. How's it going? Because something big is on the horizon. I'm Sammy the Kid with Food Shelter Water on YouTube, reminding you guys that the sky is literally the limit, it's flat and stationary, and your government is lying to you. Let's band together, and let's push through and win this fight. NomadSoldierArmy.com for change. Talk soon, guys. Be safe.
Yes, well, I agree with everything there, definitely. We can see all this. It's so blatantly obvious now because we're in the apocalypse, the unveiling, right? We're starting to see what has always been. My theory on this is it's always been like this. They've always been doing this stuff. We just haven't seen it. Now the veil is lifting. But yeah, end of 2026. So happy solstice to everyone. And if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that kind of stuff. But next year, but we're finishing up a 9 year, right? 2025, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. So it's the end of a cycle. 2026 is a 1 year, right? 2 plus 2 plus 4, 10, 1 plus 0, 1, right? That's new beginnings. It's starting something new, starting afresh. So I think we all need to jump on board and decide what we want for the future. Like there's all this talk about all this encroachment of control, the digital IDs, all these, flags that aren't true happening on Bondi Beach and in the USA and everywhere, right? They've been going on forever, but now we can see through it and we have to create a different world, right? Like we've heard in this video from different people, program your water, write down in a journal who you are in the future, not what you want to be, but who you are in the future, right? See it in your mind, get the emotion of how it's going to feel when you're there, or how it does feel, right? Because you are there. And let's just start putting this into our energy field and creating the people that we want to be, because we have the choice and all there is potential. The problem at the moment is they're taking over our potential. They're taking over our imagination with all of this influx of information. And most of it is not happy information, right? Bad stuff happening here, bad stuff happening there. Oh my gosh, fear, fear, fear. We've got to get out of that program because that's all it is. It's a program. And we've got to reprogram ourselves, and that will change the world that we inhabit. So thanks for spending some time with me, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Please do give me a like, subscribe if you like this content, hit the bell for notifications, and definitely leave me your comments. And most of all, stay awesome, because you are. I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.
No, don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch.
Don't huff and puff at me.
I don't blame you, she's not.
How did you fucking
What, my intel is not good?
No, it's no good.
See, I think it is. Because she confirmed that and I don't want to trust you.
High five. Too slow. High five. Too slow. High five. High five. You pop too slow.
You take 6 feet back. Back up. Back up. What the hell?
No. Honey, no. 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 All I'm saying is don't give me attitude.
Nina, gently lang.
Oh!
Nina, Nina.
Come here. Oh my god!
Hi. Can I touch you?
Why are you growling at me?
Get down. Get down. Down.
Jesus Christ, only again. That isn't a stick.
You are not going back outside. No, you're not.
No, you're not getting dinner. You're bad.
No. Come.
No.
Get your tongue off my door. Get it off my door.
No.
I'm about to lock the darn door.
What's wrong?
Huh?
You want some chicken? Blink if you want some chicken. Okay.
Can I help you? You want to get up here? Come on. There you go.
Quítatelo, quítatelo.